Good morning, good morning, good morning. What is up, folks? How is everybody doing this morning? Hope you're doing well, despite some chaos and craziness in the markets. Something we have definitely been talking about on these live streams as of late. So let's get through. Let's talk some of this. Let's talk about some of this stuff. Let's get some plans reviewed and let's work on some new trade plans for the day today. I still need to figure out why my bit rate is so much better than what YouTube can apparently handle. Your stream's current bit rate is higher than the recommended. Let me see if I can tweak this real quick in OPS. Hang on. Let's see if there's an easy way to do that. Settings, stream. Yeah, I don't think it'll let me do that while I'm in the middle of the stream. So I'll try to remember to tweak that at some point later on. Hang on, let me just answer one thing. In color or stream doing right now at everyone. Join. All right, sorry. So let's see. Let me get my chat window open over here. Disable that. What's up, new trader? What's up, Navy Plum? Hope you all are doing well. But I mind going over what should be the mindset and marketing. Yeah, sure. I can go over that a little bit for you, new trader. I'd say, we saw Kevin in the chats yesterday. He said this word a lot, and it's certainly a sentiment I would echo, which is just patience. Right? We don't have to rush in to buy the dip, even if it looks like we've nailed it with this quick little hourly double bottom off of this 55.61 level that we've been watching for quite some time now. Yeah, so I would say, I would recommend exercising patience above all else. I'd like to see perhaps another test of 55.61, like a true, no screen sharing. Thank you. Thank you, Navy Plum. I appreciate that. Call me out when I'm getting too far ahead of myself. There we go. That should be better. So we have this hourly double bottom here at that 55.61.50 level that we've been talking about. I hope you all mark that on your charts. That is where we've attempted to bounce after a pretty prolonged sell-off, taking us down to that level. It does look to try to be carving out. I don't know. I wouldn't even really call that a new high yet because we're still kind of below where some of this support tried to come into play. So we could be looking at an area essentially could even go up as high as 56.78. But this area just above where we're at right now looks like it could be could cause some resistance issues here, at least in the near term, until ES pushes over that 56.78. But like I said, we've been watching this 55.61.50 level for a while. We are seeing that double bottom type of bounce, but I would like to see a true pull back and bounce, come back, test again. If we start to see a second bounce, maybe we will see something that is a little bit more of a sustained recovery. Otherwise, I could very much see this turning out to just be a dead cat bounce. So going back to new traders question in the chats there about, what's the mindset in these kind of market conditions, it's really twofold, right? Don't expect to hold anything for super long. Focus on scalps and day trades if you're kind of in a position where you see good opportunities to take those types of entries, but know that things can quickly reverse. Chase your positions with stops aggressively so you don't let green trades go red. Trailing stops, if your broker offers those, can be a pretty useful tool in time like this. You get a good entry, you get to your first price target, you start to take some profits off. Maybe you're up 60 cents a contract, aka $60 a contract. Go ahead and set a trail stop at, let's say, 20 cents on the remaining contracts. That way, worst case, it pulls back. You get about approximately 2/3 of the profits that You would have realized if you had just taken them all kind of at the same time, or it continues to push higher and eventually a 20 cent pullback on the contracts puts you, well over what you were looking at when you took the profits at your first price target. So trail stops, if those are available, those would be very useful in a market like this. But yeah, most of all, the most important thing I can suggest is patience. Have plenty of dry powder, aka cash, available, and be ready to when we see a really, just like a too good to be true dip to buy, which I would say we're not there yet. As far as how low I think this dip could really retrace some of these recent moves before we do see it kind of make a more sustained push higher. So, you just have to be patient. In fact, I will show you all. I didn't realize I still had this chart, but I will show you all kind of what that looks like. And I have a feeling what we're seeing here with that double bounce off that one level is kind of what would be sort of in this red zone. So you're probably sitting here saying, what the hell's the red zone? Why does that matter? So this is an old set of SPY drawings that for my SPY chart that I did forever ago. I did come back in here when I was looking at it here recently and add some of these kind of key weekly levels. We've already lost one of those, so we could see a further pullback, but I'm trying to find, yeah, here we go. So let me zoom out on this a little bit more. Let's go to the weekly chart. That's probably good enough. So we had, and this is kind of a similar scenario, so I think this is maybe somewhat appropriate. So we had this pretty strong channel, right? This is your COVID sell-off right here, right? Market ultimately pushes back up and then eventually gets into this channel. It's got kind of channels within channels, but overall it was doing a really nice job of playing this channel, both upside and downside. You maybe see some occasional liquidity sweeps below, but they were still closing back above that weekly trend line and ultimately staying in this really nice strong channel all the way up until we got to 2022. And then we all knows what happened in 2022. We saw that channel break down. This is when I started moving a lot of my positions into cash, right? Or risk off assets, things that weren't going to be affected by the market nearly as much as holding any kind of equity positions. That was both in my personal accounts and my 401ks, my investment accounts, all that sort of stuff. Because this was like a 20, I want to say it was like a 28. I could be misremembering that number, but it was about a 28% move to the upside in a little over a year, which is just not normal for the S&P. You're typically expecting maybe 7 to 10% returns on a good year. But when you get into the 20-some% returns on a year, market's getting a little overheated, getting a little frothy. You do start to look a little bit more aggressively at when it might be time to try to switch and scale out back to a more cash focused position. So as I realized that this trend was breaking down, right, I went through and I looked at potential areas of where we would find buyers on the way back down, right? And I kind of had a red, yellow, and green zone. Red was like, maybe we buy this dip, but it's, probably too soon. Let's be patient. Yellow is, okay, we start to think about loading some entries here somewhere in this range, maybe having some pretty liberal stop losses, or at least starting with like a third of your usual position size, knowing that we can always wait and have true patience. This goes back to the ultimate point, patience, and wait for some testing of this green zone down here where I saw, okay, if the market gets down and starts touching anywhere in this 350 to 323 range, that would be a great place to just go ahead and buy the dip. If it dips any lower than that, go ahead and just hold through it, because I don't expect it will dip much farther, even if your entry's not ideal. Right, so we were looking at these zones for, let's see, from February 22 all the way until about October, right? So we're talking about, 8 months before we really found that bottom. And that bottom was right in my buy the dip, don't look back. This is your opportunity to load up for the next bull run. And so, I called this back in, again, probably January, February of 22. It played out October of 22, and we have never looked back. We've been on up to all-time highs since then, if you zoom out and get a little bit of perspective. So, again, that took us 10 months. There was lots of spikes, but ultimately the move was down, right? You get these little relief bounces, bull traps, get people buying the tops, and then you sell them down until you finally get to a point where you're happy with buying the dip yourself, and that's when you start gobbling up your shares, and you let things just run. And if they continue down below for a little while, you know, that's fine. It's not always going to be an easy ride, but this was probably one of the best long-term analysis plays I've ever provided. I did share this not only with the Xtrades Discord community, but with, you know, friends, colleagues, and coworkers. A decent number of them listened. Some of them got back in too early. I don't think anybody truly timed the bottom perfectly. Me personally, I did add down here, but I didn't get real confident about adding back to my position until we got over this weekly trend line and started to show this back testing and pushing through it again. This is about where I really went heavy back into, you know, kind of general 401k risk exposure, general equity exposure, and just let things run up from there. So again, going back to the ultimate point though, and the question from New Trader, which I think was a very good and appropriate question, which is, you know, that patience is going to be key in this market. Again, we saw the signal that we were going to see continued downside back in January. You could even say if you really waited to get true confirmation, you could even give it as much as February, but we didn't really find bottom until October, right? So lots of opportunities to short the rips instead of buy the dips, and just patience, right? Again, it was about 8 months before we saw that true bottom take place. And again, that should be based on technicals, not because we've just, you know, set some sort of anecdotal, hypothetical, you know, oh, it should be 8 months. That's how it played out last time. That's not necessarily how it is going to play out this time. If the move drops more rapidly, you could see that turn around more quickly, kind of like what we saw with COVID. I mean, that was a very rapid drop, very rapid recovery. This one, a little bit more of a measured drop, more of a measured recovery. So patience, 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 I guess, is ultimately the thought there. And again, we are trying to hold that 55.6150. That's been our key level, first support that we've been watching on ES. So as long as that holds, we could see some bounce opportunities down near that area. I could absolutely see those just being dead cat bounces, so don't go buying in and thinking that that's a great place to load leaps for the long term. I think we still have some more downside to go before we find a true bottom. We'll talk about that on the next live stream, but let's get to our trade plan recaps, and then let's get to some new trade plan requests and get through this morning's live stream. What's up, 3 stars? So what's the SPY plan for today? You will see it at the same time as everybody else when I post that in the options watch list this morning. Let's get these trade plan charts set up though. This is NVIDIA, our current NVIDIA trade plan. This is our Tesla trade plan. Let's pull this up. Also, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, let me, I'll go pull this in just a sec. Let me get my chart set up. Tesla, NVIDIA, and Palantir were our trade plans. And let's hide the drawings here. There we go. All right, and let me go over to our video lessons. That's where I posted this. So I did finally get together a quick little tutorial video on how to use the trade plan navigator for those of you who may still have questions about it. That's the tutorial video for it. Let me post it in here, open chat. There you go. All right, so if you guys don't already have access to this trade plan navigator, please feel free to reach out to Chris, reach out to myself, get us your trading view information, and we'll get you set up for access to the trade plan navigator. That's a quick little tutorial video that will kind of talk you through how it works. The one thing that I want to, again, I don't feel like there's any mysteries or confusion about this, but I do want to reiterate that this indicator does not find these levels for you, right? You have to have the trade plan to put into the indicator settings to be able to chart things out like this. So don't come to me with the look of surprise on your face when you get this access to this and you're like, hey, this isn't like automatically finding trade plans for me. If it could do that, then you know, I would probably just set it to auto trade and retire and never look at the screen again. All right, so let's get through our trade plan recaps, and then let's get to some new ticker requests. If you guys have any of those, please feel free to start dropping those in the chats. I've seen some questions and some other stuff going around, but yeah, let's get those ticker requests in. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, my brother. Glad you're here this morning with us. Uber, if time, your Uber's a first request, so we definitely got time for that. All right, and actually that's probably a good one to revisit. I noticed that it's been pulling back quite a bit. We had that nice upside trade on it. I did eventually close out all my leaps, made a little bit of money selling some short calls on that one as well. All right, so let's start with NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been making slow moves to the downside, but ultimately lower highs. Looks like there's a pretty decent trend forming, actually. Could be running off up here. Yeah, pretty close to this. Yes, there's a pretty decent trend forming there on NVIDIA that I would definitely want to pay attention to. But overall looks bearish, came very close to tapping PT1 there in the extended hour session, but hasn't gotten there yet, breaking back down below the put entry. So we could see some additional downside targets get ready to play out on NVIDIA. Just a reminder, there are your levels for that particular trade plan. So that's NVIDIA for you. Tesla, take a look at this. Let's hide that. I need to fix that x-axis setting for my personal version of this. That's a little bit too much, I'd say. That's better. So Tesla, this one's played out. Let me fix this y-axis setting too. Sorry. It doesn't want to move. It's all based on a percentage of the share price. So yeah, Tesla, this one quickly broke down yesterday. In fact, you had to be looking at the 5-minute to really see the breakdown and back test on this one. Got our breakdown, closed below, back test candle, great entry opportunity right there. That took us down all the way to PT3 and then some. Went another, what? It as low as 220.05. So, I mean, went for another $14 below our third put price target. So Tesla looking really rough and now has a gap below to fill. So these Tesla bounces so far are looking like great opportunities to get back into new short positions. But Tesla downside trade plan has played out beautifully. So we're good to go there. And then Palantir, this one did break down to the downside, did catch PT1 and then some in the extended hour session. It has tried to bounce from there since then, but kind of looking like the rest of the market. Looks like a bounce back up into resistance and selling pressure and getting pushed back to the downside so far. So everything kind of looking bearish across the board, but again, that's not too surprising with what the markets are doing and with what the overall macro sentiment looks like. If you guys have any trade plans from last week's live streams you want me to take a look at, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get to some new trade plan requests because I know we got bogged down, not bogged down, but we spent a little bit of extra time there just kind of talking about patience and market psychology when the markets are in expert mode as they are now. For me, this is an old shoe. I like after the first few weeks of you know, Trump being in the White House, is like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember these days. All right, so let's take a look at Uber for my Uber brother, Chris. Excuse me. That time change this past weekend, which I did not know was happening, has really wreaked havoc on my sleep schedule. I'm all over the place right now. All right, let's fix up these drawings real quick. Get this old stuff out of the way. All right, let's take a look at Uba. Well, immediately, the 73.69 level sticks out to me as a good potential call entry that should open up a pretty decent upside move. I'd say it could test as high as the 76.99. Could also conceivably see there's confluences at both of these levels, 75.80. So we'll make a decision on that in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and mark both these levels. So we've got them on watch. Good break of 76.99 could take us up to 79.29. So let's see where the stop loss needs to sit. I was kind of already eyeballing this 72.27 level. If we use 72.27, I think we can go with these price targets as is, which I think is also probably appropriate for being aggressive about taking profits, especially playing to the upside, especially in the current market. See those profits, book them. Yeah, I do like, the more I look at it, this 72.27 as a stop loss. I think we need to keep our stops aggressive so we're not getting tunnel vision on our plays and we're willing to say, got in, didn't play out, time to get back out. So I think playing aggressive stops, especially on these upside trades, which seem to be counter trend at the moment, makes perfect sense. So I like that as an upside plan and levels. Yeah, lots of aimless dip buying that I've been seeing that, to your point, does not tend to work out well. Just, buy the dips has always worked generally recently. It's like, oh, you have to be able to recognize, have the skill to recognize when times they are changing. Let's take a look at it. I want to see how quick that, pretty quick liquidity grab there. Be just a little tiny bit lower is what I wonder. Let me go take a look back here. So I'm just trying to nail down this put entry. I'm sort of debating between a couple things. There's some pre-market, or so I should say some extended hours candle artifacts kind of hanging out there. Yeah, I do like that though. It's an entry. So let's go with it. The more I look at it, the more I like it. Now the question becomes, where's a really good first price target? Probably sitting right here. I could go a little bit further down to 68.50, but also see a really decent possibility of a bounce here at 68.81. No need to try to squeeze out every last little penny out of it. Let's make sure that we're taking profits early and often. As I look through here, yeah, it's where I think we're pretty good. I thought about maybe bumping it up another level. I think we're good. Second price target, 67.06. Third target, yeah, down here at, could be either of these two levels, but I'm going to go with the more conservative of the two, 65.22. Third PT. All right, we've got an Uber live stream plan. Let's put that into the navigator so you guys can see how this works. Again, did this tutorial video. I just posted it in the chat for you guys. So This is just, whoops. And I jacked that all up, didn't I? 73. Bless, Jesse. So, dude, what am I doing? Why are my fingers working this morning? There we go. 75, 80, 76, 99, 79, 29, 72, 27, 64, 68, 81, 6706, and 65, 22. It's actually going to be a shared stop loss, average down. So we'll use that. They're at 72.27. Okay. Boom. Now let's hide these drawings. That way it's easy just to see the key levels here. Copy link since we can't post images to YouTube. So here is your Uber live stream plan. Boom. Boom. And in the elite. All right, so what are we looking for here on Uber? We're looking for a break above 73.69. That should give us price targets at 75.80, 76.99, and 79.29, with a stop loss average down at 72.27. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 70.64. That should give us targets at 68.81, 67.06, and 65.22, with a shared stop loss average down there at 72.27. Let's get our alerts set. Yeah, shared stop loss average down. That's good. Okay. I'm going to try this. I'm trying to figure out the right combination of chart time frames and regular trading hours versus market hours to get these from to stop stacking alerts and then flooding the chat with them all at once at open. I tried to extend the alert period a little bit, thinking it would catch things better, but it didn't. So let's try shortening it up one today. So let's set these alerts here. Trade plan pilot, any alert function call. We'll watch this one until next Tuesday after market, or at market close. So we'll give it a week. And this is the Uber live stream 311. All right, alerts are set. We're ready to go on Uber. Oh, one other thing, actually, let me save this indicator template. Symbol, go ahead and put this in the 4 slot. Okay, that way we can come back to it if we need to. All right, so that's the Uber live stream plan. Let's go. What was the next one? Uber LMT for San Andreas. Let's take a look at Lockheed Martin. This is not one that I chart often, so no shockers if there's not a ton of drawings on here, but what little charting I've done has been up in this range. See some old trade plan elements in here, so that's somewhat helpful. Looks like we maybe did some fib levels at some point. I'm not sure, but anyway, let's figure it out. Kind of clean this chart up. Yeah, Lockheed, not one that I've ever really, I don't know if I've ever even actually traded it. I think I'm just, if somebody's asked me for analysis on it, I've helped providing levels and maybe some ideas for trade plans, but I don't think I've ever personally traded Lockheed. I could be wrong about that. If it's happened, it was a long time ago. All right. Interesting rejection up here off of, well, nothing on the chart at the moment. Is that an actual support and resistance level, or is that just a rando? I'd be surprised if it was not an established level. Definitely have one sitting somewhere around here. Let's see if we can get some more. Yeah, it's a quick little test there, but I like that. So let's see how that looks. Let's kind of to be determined level there. Yeah, that's right where that rejection took place, though. Okay, now the question is, do we really open up much upside? Is that kind of a signal for a decent little risk reward window? Say that 10 times fast. Kind of eyeballing this 50506 if that plays out. Yeah. Okay, so not kinda, this is what it looks like so far. This entry. Also like this stop loss, at least so far. Now that seems a bit restrictive, so I want to look at this a little bit more, see if I can justify giving this Lockheed trade plan any more room to work itself out on the upside. Yeah, maybe we can. Again, I've not charted this thoroughly. It's interesting support. There's the resistance. Yeah, Neptune's got it dialed in right on that old sell pressure. Yeah, that looks good. Give it that little bit of extra room there. So now the question is, what are we looking for over 50506? Let's see. Played on the way back down. That looks good there. We did get this other push up to here. It's kind of a small little move there, but I do see how that would make for a good price target. It's about another % gain on the underlying, so not bad, even though it looks small compared to that initial price target. Sometimes that's just how these plans set up. It did do a good job of kind of taking the stairs down a little bit here, and I also like that 515.07 upside target. So kind of a big move followed by some tighter resistances overhead after that, but again, is what it is. That's what the chart is telling us, so we listen. All right, now the question is, the answer, we're right on testing this pre-market this morning. Keep an close eye on this one. Preferably wait for a break below and back test for an entry below 477.04, but I think that does open up a pretty decent little bit of room to the downside. Could have a level off here. Like that level should be sitting right there. No help on this recent move up, but does give us perfect confluence, I'm noticing, with that key buying pressure there at Neptune. So I'll use that to our advantage. 467.57 first price target. Second target, let's see. Yeah. Again, it's a level I don't have yet. I have not charted Lockheed thoroughly, nor do I think I've ever traded it. But at 459.41 I like, and then I like coming down for these SMAs potentially down here to 448.66. So this is what trade plans are going to look like. Let's plug these in. 493.87, 505.06, 509, 58, 515.07, 485.23, put entry 477.04, down to 467.57, 459.41, and 48.66 shared stop loss average down at 458.23. Okay, Drawings. Ooh, screwed something up there. What did I mess up? Oh, did I leave both those turned now? Turn that on. Oh. Man, I was typing ones instead of fours there, wasn't I? PT1. This real quick, that's just going to throw me off. Sorry. My number keypad skills are not quite as good as I maybe thought. Get it? Why does that look so funky? 458.23, 458.23. We're using a shared. What? How does this look so weird? Old. No? All right, hang on. Shared stop loss. Oh, did I type that wrong? I am so confused now. You guys are getting to witness comedy of errors here for a second. 485.23. That's why I'm freaking dyslexic. There we go. I was like, why does this look so wrong? That's why. There we go. Man, I was so confused for a second there. All right, thanks for bearing with me. Sorry about that. It's like, why does this look so screwed up? There we go. That looks good. All right. Learn your numbers, buddy. Let's go. Sorry about that. LMT live stream plan. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Everybody laughing at me. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, my sleep schedule has been so jacked up. Like yesterday, I just felt like a walking zombie all day yesterday. I also like from one, like, you know, looking at the clock and it was 1:15 Saturday to looking at the clock and it was 3:15 Saturday, and I was like, holy shit. Or Sunday morning, really. All right, let's get this posted in the elite chat so I can get my, whoops, got my everyone tag there. So I can get my message link. Let's get in here. Let's set our alerts on this. And again, let's do 30 minutes, regular trading hours. Add our alerts. 18th at 1600. LMT live stream 3:11. 8. All right, so let's talk through this real quick. What are we looking for here on Lockheed Martin? We're looking for a break above 493.87 to play upside up to 505.06, 509.58, and 515.07 with a stop loss average down at 485.23, not 458.23. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 477.04. That should give us targets at 467.54, 459.41, and 448.66 with a shared stop loss average down there at 458.23. Those are your LMT live stream plans. Let's roll. All right, and then let's see. I think I've got time for one more if I can do it quickly. Oh, man. MSTR, I think was the next one. Yeah, right? Yeah, MSTR. We got it. MSTR. All right, let's go. MicroStrategy. Or isn't it just called strategy now? Still looks like MicroStrategy on there to me. All right. Yeah, whatever. Let's take a look at this. Not one I've ever really charted or looked at. Never had much interest in MSTR. I know they have a pretty wild high yield dividend ticker. MicroStrategy now. That's a good one. MSTY, I think. Drawings. I do have some drawings actually. Let's not ignore those. Got some old fib extensions on here too. Let's see. That's a knee slapper. But yeah, they got that MSTY that is the high yield. I think it was trading around like I don't know, $20 a share and paying like $2 a share a month. Pretty wild stuff. All right. Let us see. Now that I actually do have some levels here on MicroStrategy. It does have some interesting support down in this range. It's basically like all-time lows. No, we've got some price action coming down here. $241.50. Sorry, I'm just watching some steam come out of my ears as I try to figure out where this I think we've got something right around here. It is an old plan, or not old plan level, an old gap level. Right about there. And what I'm looking at this 239 level, though, is a couple of things. One, maybe a better buy the dip level. All right, let's make a slight adjustment to this. I want to see what this looks like using this level right here. Let's take a look at both of these. Now, how many passes I'm going to get through this range. I want to see if maybe we have something even a little bit older. Don't know if we are going to get that. Yeah, I don't think we are. All right. So, I think what we're looking at is we'll leave this as our entry there at 231.80. We're going to keep a pretty tight stop on this. 239.99. Could even be a little tiny bit higher. More like sorry, I was looking at the wrong level there. 237.10. We moved that up a little bit from whatever it said a second ago. I was looking at the wrong level there on the y-axis. Below that, we are looking at this next target level. It's just a little tiny bit off. It's be right there. 213.01. I think makes for a solid second price target. Third target. This is an interesting, very strong dip and bounce. Any other tests up near this level? I think the answer's no. Yeah, that was our one shot at seeing something there at 199.77. I just don't want to pick that level arbitrarily. There's not a lot of price data in this range, though, is the problem. All right, I'm going to go with the level that I can actually see as a confirmed support resistance. It might have a little bit lower to go, but I feel like I'm forcing it at this point, and that's not the right thing to do. So 208.32, it could dip a little bit lower, but I think that's a pretty solid downside plan for us. So the upside, also this 219.88, interesting by the dip level for what it's worth on MSTR. All right, let's see how this played out through this recent pullback. Get out of here. Right now. There is a level here. I think we could take an entry on it. I think that will give us room up to 264.56. I think that does give us a stop loss here at 245.36. Second target. Good extensions. A little bit off here, which is understandable. I think this level does sit right about there. This is a good second price target. Third price target, definitely going to be on the gap fill. Right there at 284.99. All right, that's our trade plans. Let's go. Hopefully I can get my fingers and dyslexia worked out so we can punch in these levels a little quicker this time. Let's see. All right, we're looking for a break over 254.09, 264.56, 276.86, 284.99. Stop loss at 245.36. Put entry 231.80, 219.88, 213.01, and 208.32. 37.10, and it's not a shared stop loss. All right, so let's get this posted. That looks about right. Let's get those labels on the chart. Yeah, it's too far. Let's fix that. Oops. There we go. Looks better. Here we go for your MSTR live stream plan. Awfully quiet over on the YouTube side of things today. I see folks watching, but nobody's saying hello. It's fine if you're shy. Let me get this posted in the Elite chat and grab our message link there. Settings. Put this in here. 30-minute. Regular hours. Set our alerts. And this is MSTR live stream 311. Let's lock in our indicator template. 6. All right, so what are we looking for here on MicroStrategy? We are looking for a break above 254.09 to try to catch upside on this one with targets at 264.56, 276.86, and 284.99 with a stop loss average down at 245.36. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 231.80. That should give us targets at 219.88, 213.07 and 208.32 with a stop loss average down at 237.10. Those are your micro strategy trade plans, and this was your Xtrades FOMO live stream. What's up, Fredilla? Good to finally hear you, even though we are on our way out. I do want to say thank you to everybody for joining me this morning. We are 10 minutes out from market open, so I do need to go get that SPY plan put together and posted in the options watch list in the Xtrades Discord community. We will be back, as a reminder, Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until then, I want to thank you all again for joining me. As we always say here on these FOMO live streams, plan your trades and trade your plans. Go out there and get some green. I will see you all in the chats. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you back here next Thursday morning as well at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day.